Om Jananim Sharadam Devim Ramakrishnam Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayo Shritva Pranamami Muhurmuhu. It was about 9 o'clock. The Mukherjee brothers saluted the master and went away. Adhar and M sat on the floor in master's room while he talked to Adhar about Rakhal. Master is talking to Adhar about Rakhal. Rakhal is still young boy, college going, maybe in his 18 years perhaps. Rakhal was studying in Vrindavan, staying in Vrindavan with Balram. Balram has taken Rakhal with him to Vrindavan. The master had learned from a letter about Rakhal's illness. He was so worried about him that 2 or 3 days earlier, he had wept before Hazra like a child. Sri Ramakrishna. Rakhal used to treat him as his own son, his own child. Just like in ancient days of long back, how India was there, how the kings were there. The kings used to look after the subjects just like their children. Anybody weeping in his country, anybody weeping in his kingdom, he would weep with them. He would share their heart with his heart and feel intensely as a mother would feel for the child. Now we see those, that's why the Shastras, king is considered as God himself, manifestation of God. Even in Bhagavad Gita, when he expresses the various his manifestations in this universe, I am the Himalayas among the mountains, and he goes on telling, king among the men, because they have a heart of a mother with every subject, which is possible only for God. So is the relationship between Rakhal and Sri Ramakrishna. He used to consider, just like a mother would weep if the child is sick, Sri Ramakrishna is weeping for Rakhal, knowing about him in a letter. Had wept before Hazra like a child. Other had sent a registered letter to Rakhal, but had received no reply. Other had written a letter, how Sri Ramakrishna is panting, how are you now presently, all that he wanted to know. And then it takes long time for a letter to go and get a reply, perhaps a month. In those days, early days, even when I was a child and school-going boy, the villages, number of villages where there are no roads at all, were covered by the postman. 20, 30 villages every day will be covered by a postman on horse. Vehicles were not there. In 1950s, 60s, there were no vehicles going around village to village, and no roads also were there. And village demarcation, everything was there. My village is up to here, and all footpaths, that is, walking makes a path, moving about. That path, no specific roads. But villagers were clever enough to create a standard road, like putting some mud somewhere in rainy season, elevating the walking place, all that was there. So horses could easily move and hand over and come. It used to take almost a month for writing to posting it, for postman to segregate and send through various means. If wherever there is vehicle possible, buses and all that, very few buses, very few roads. They have to go on shifting from one bus to up to somewhere it goes. Another side is river. River crossing, only buses cannot cross. But these letters will go from place to place, person to person, and reaches the proper other side of the delivery. And then he takes. It used to take usually 3 weeks to 1 month. So he has not yet received the reply. Master will be anxious. Others sent a registered letter to Rakhal, but had received no reply. Master to other. Naren has received a letter from Vrindavan. Why have not you received a reply to yours? Other. I have not yet heard from Vrindavan. Master. How much convenience we have. Sitting at home, wherever we are, we can contact any person anywhere. How the science has evolved. But with the evolution of science and technology, man's spiritual awarenesses are decreasing. Most important, if nothing was there, there was no problem. But if God is not there with us, and what else? We may be knowing every information, but there is no Savior who makes us transcend our tragedies, grievances, problems, and give us solace to the burning hearts. God alone can do that. Just like a river, it's flowing in its own way. Who are on the banks can enjoy. What about the rest of the people far away from the banks? They dig a well. And here and there small wells where people come together and take little water. In summer it dries up. Each one has to find his own way of finding water. But when it rains, it is flooding rain. You can just keep a vessel under your shelter. All the water on the top is going to fall. You need not go anywhere. Everything comes to your door when the rain comes. Every water is there with you at all times. Like that, that is the difference between the grace of God and the individual efforts. I have not yet heard from Vrindavan. Master, M also received a letter from Vrindavan. Sri Ramakrishna is giving, why you have not received? They began to talk of Sri Ramakrishna's seeing a play at Star Theatre about life of Gauranga, hearing from Jadu Malik's explanations of Gauranga presentation. Sri Ramakrishna has gone and seen, and about that he is explaining perhaps. They began to talk of Sri Ramakrishna seeing the play. He himself has gone seen the place at Star Theatre about the life of Gauranga. How it would be unimaginable. Master seeing. Jadu told me that one could see the play very well from a 1 rupee seat. In spite of his great wealth, Jadu Malik was very miserly. So Srimad Thakur is mentioning him. Play very well from 1 rupee seat, and it's very cheap. Once we were talking about going to the Panhati, a place where every year they celebrate Gauranga's festival. Panhati. Jadu wanted me to go in a country boat with the whole crowd of the passengers, all laugh. Formerly he liked means he has wealth, but if he goes by horse carriage or thing, he has to pay. Now it will be 2.5 rupees a horse carriage to carry, but through the boat it will be about 4 annas. He will leave the other side. He has to walk some distance to the boat and get down from the boat and again walk. Horse carriages stay around, and in the same carriage you can reach the end. And he's telling that he wanted me to go with the crowd of passengers. We know his state. Now and then he's entering into ecstasy. Somebody holding him to make him climb over the boat, bring him down. Spending miserliness in spending small amount of money, though they are extremely wealthy. See, they could be wealthy and become wealthy because of their miserliness. If we're spending away what all comes, they would not have been wealthy. One time, one beggar was moving about in a street, simply where people are moving, trying to climb bus and all that. He's a dignified standing, moving about, and he's looking at people who can give him some money. Then he is very calculative and selective to search for a person who can really give without being pestering. One ask he must give. He sees a man going. He goes and says, I want 10 rupees. Can you give me 10 rupees? He looks at that gentleman who is begging. Decent, nice personality. He is simple, and he could say, see, he's not a cheat. He's not what purpose he would serve with that, and why is he asking? He was wondering, but he said, yes, I can give you. Then he gives 100 rupees note. He had asked 10 rupees note. No, I don't want 100 rupees. I want only 10 rupees. He gives back that 100 rupees. He says, no, I want to give you 100 rupees. Then he says, Master, be careful in giving. I too was like you, wealthy person. Whoever asked whatever amount without calculating, I used to give. And this is my state now, to stand in the street and ask for when I am helpless. I gave away everything that I had, seeing the people's need. And now I have become myself a beggar in the street. So that kind of, some are very large-hearted, they don't even see genuineness and deserving, sometimes they give away. So these people are clever people. Jadu wanted me to go. All laugh. Formerly, he liked to hear a little about God, but I don't see Jadu much nowadays. Those were the days, the moment the luxury and comforts and luxuries come in, our divine awareness will decrease. That's why most of the prayers, the true sadhakas and saints do is, give me that much. Kabir used to pray, give me that much, I am not hungry, my family is not hungry, and the one who comes to my door never goes empty-handed. That much and nothing more. So that prayer, not to exceed the limits, not to enter into comforts and luxuries, whole life dedicated to intense activity and maintaining themselves without dependence, without any complaints, joyfully working day and night. That was the old India. Now everybody, how to make money, how to enjoy, how to experience comforts and luxuries. So that part is increasing. I am not complaining about anything, but how when comforts enter, and they enter only to reduce your divine awareness, your sadhana, spiritual practices fade down. The moment luxury comes, tamas increases. And even rajas will be dealing with the intense desires. Tamas is always to be in luxurious comforts. Main thing is, luxury comes, the spiritual practices fade. Jadu Malik is not nowadays. He always surrounded by flatterers. They have spoiled him. He is a man of very calculating nature. I would no sooner set his foot in his house than he would ask me, how much is carriage hire? It is customary for a householder in India to pay the carriage hire of a holy man when the latter visits his home. I would say, you don't have to bother about it. You may give 2.5 rupees. That would keep him quiet. All laugh. It was late. Other was about to depart. The master asked him to bring Naren with him. With all things you see, they need lot of understanding. Each man has to grow in his own path. Evolution has its own way. Now, just like anything, you see, a plant is there. It grows in its own way. It doesn't imitate or compete with other trees, not of its own way, variety. Now, mango tree is there, banana tree is there. They don't compete each other, but they grow in their own way. Evolution is a process where we see it is smoothly evolving in its own way. That if any disturbance is there, if we associate with anything, it either enhances if it is the spiritual company, and it declares if it is not spiritual company. If it is worldly company, association, just association makes it. To go in our own path, we need a beautiful, fine atmosphere which is suitable to our development. At the same time, we cannot neglect the family and our duties of life. We may have to go for earning to somewhere which may not be conducive to my may not be giving my spiritual atmosphere. There I have to support my internal awareness in some other way, calling on God through the heart. Just like Dakshineswar says, when your body is working, give your mind to God. And when mind is working, give your heart to God. So there you see, no company is going to help you. No company is going to create an atmosphere for you to evolve forth. So you have to be self-dependent everywhere other than a holy company where you are getting. So here we see Sri Ramakrishna is striving for all to progress, and is asking, will you bring him Naren next time? It was late, other was about to depart. The master asked him, other is about to depart, asked him to bring Naren with him. Naren, if he brings, one thing is, Naren's developments, growth and evolution is essential, for he has to give something to the world, which Sri Ramakrishna has reserved for him. Because Sri Ramakrishna cannot come down to the level of ordinary people to convey things to the ordinary people. The selected, highly evolved souls on the path to realization is keeping around and training them to transcend the nature and go beyond. At the same time, we see him in a different way. He is striving for the world welfare. Naren is necessary for world welfare. He is concerned. He has to train him and give him all the powers and knowledge that he can transform the world. So we see there how that Ramakrishna is panting for Naren, and his last they are parting, him and other, and in that he is praying as if he is deeply requesting him, next time when you come, bring Naren with him. With this, we end the present chapter at Dakshineswar. Next will be at the Star Theatre 1. We will take up this in the next class. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.